Hi everyone, and welcome to my channel. My name is Sierra and I am a current senior at Loyola Marymount University. I am starting this channel to explain to you my journey to graduate school and how I was admitted into all 4 graduate schools that I applied to. So first, I think it's helpful to give a bit of background about me, my journey, my story, why I'm making this video. I've sort of always been academically inclined. I've always been a scholar, and this stemmed from my upbringing. In Virginia, I grew up in Virginia Beach, Virginia, with my mom. It was just us two. In Virginia, people were different. We were more ambitious, and so we wanted to, when looking at our surroundings, we aspired for more. And so we relocated to California. I attended LMU. My GPA in high school was about a 3.7, and my current GPA now in college is a 3.4. So I've never had like 4.0, perfect SAT, ACT, perfect GRE scores, but I believe that by the grace of God, by hard work, sacrifice, and dedication, I am where I am at today, and it's a very comfortable place. So, you clicked on this video to find out how I got accepted. First, I want to start off with what is required for graduate admission. So the first thing you'll need to apply to graduate school is a completed Centralized Student Application, or SOFAS application. For me, I'm applying to schools of public health, and so we have a centralized application called the SOFAS, and everything that we upload is uploaded straight to that website, and so it's super easy and simple to have your materials organized. The next thing you'll need are GRE scores. And the GRE is a whole nother beast that we will discuss later in the video, but just know that. Next, you'll need a written statement of purpose, and this is typically 2 to 3 pages long, explaining why you're choosing to pursue a graduate degree in whatever field or major you're interested in. And finally, you'll need letters of recommendation. I recommend starting early on this process. On this entire process, you'll want to start as early as possible. So, what did I do? Here's the game plan. This is what you need to know. Number 1, start early. As early as you possibly can. I decided that I wanted to attend graduate school at the very last minute, literally my senior year of college. Probably the summer in between junior and senior years was when I decided I want to attend graduate school, which probably isn't the best thing to do considering the applications are due that fall, and I was to start in the next year. So that gave me very little time to prepare, but I did it. I'd say your best bet is to start Googling the programs that you want to attend, programs that you're interested in. And so for me, I'm interested in my public health degree. And so I narrowed my schools down based off of location first. I knew that I wanted to attend schools on either of the coasts, either the East Coast or the West Coast. And so I ensured that the schools that I was looking at were on either coast. I then factored it by price. Luckily, I do have a Gates Millennium Scholarship, which is a scholarship funded by Bill and Melinda Gates that covers my education up to my doctorate level. So luckily for me, price wasn't so much a factor as was the cost of living as a whole and the quality of life in that institution's city. If you want me to make a video on my Gates Millennium Scholarship, that whole application process and what it entails, let me know. It's a really prestigious, outstanding scholarship that literally changed my life. I would not be pursuing higher education if it were not for the scholarship covering it. Okay? The next thing you'll want to do is narrow down your search by faculty. So if you're pursuing graduate school, you'll want to consider, Who are the professionals that are already in this field? What are they doing? Is their research and are their projects something that I'm interested in, something that I can see myself doing in the future? Because you will be working alongside these people. Next, you'll want to consider, of course, your living factors and your quality of life. My first choice is New York University, which is obviously in New York. I currently attend school in California, which is very warm and very temperate. So that's something I have to consider, whether I'll be comfortable living in a very cold environment where the people are very different. They're a bit more closed off and reserved. Everything. You'll have to consider relocation and everything that goes along with that. Are you prepared for that? You do need to ask yourself these questions. A very important factor to consider is to search the recent employment statistics and data for recent graduates to see if students in your program are actually happy and are actually successful and are actually employed. Are they working? What are they doing once they graduate, right? So you graduate, you go to school, okay, now what? What does the future hold for me? Each school, if you Google USC, recent employment data, or NYU, employment data for recent grads, it will give you actual numbers in a percentage, in a pie chart of what the graduates are currently doing with their lives post-grad. Next thing I want to do, and this is something that I found extremely helpful, is posting on Facebook groups to ask current students about their experience at the school. Are these students happy? You can actually create a whole list of questions that you'd like to ask these students. What is it really like studying here? Do you have any regrets choosing the school that you did? If you could think back and see yourself in my position now, would you have done anything differently? These are all important questions to get a gauge and a feel of how current students are experiencing their academic journeys at the schools that you're interested in. You can also follow your schools on social media and see what they're posting about, stay updated on their latest research, and everything that they have to offer is on their social media. So you want to stay updated in that way. Next, you want to study for and take the GRE exam. I just need a moment of silence for the GRE. The GRE is... The GRE... I can't. Honestly, you'll want to start studying for this exam the summer before, or even earlier, that you plan to submit your application. Okay? So I started studying in the summer for the GRE, and I took it the summer before my next academic year started and before work started, so that I had that free time to really devote all of my time and energy to this exam. I did not take that many practice tests as I should have, but one thing that I found the most helpful was being consistent. So if you're not taking a huge practice test, ensure that you're at least every single day doing vocab problems, paying attention to the words and answers that you're getting wrong, and ensuring that the next go around, you're getting it right. So every single day, do something related to the GRE, and as a result, you'll be better because of it. I must admit that my scores were not, they were average at best, and my math score was below average. But honestly, I got in. Clearly, the schools are looking at your entire application package holistically, and so they're not considering you as a student solely for your test scores, your GRE, your GPA. They're looking at your entire package, what you have to offer, your unique strengths and accomplishments, what you've done in high school, that you can really speak about and show your passion for the subject, why you're prepared now to attend graduate school. So really take the time, and I will discuss this later, take the time to detail your why and what makes you unique, and really allow your personality to shine through, but in a very professional way. Give your recommenders time. So I asked my recommenders, I had 3 people in mind. One was my supervisor at work. I asked the associate dean of my college, and I also asked a professor. So I had a sort of a variety of recommenders. I asked them in September for my letters, and I asked if they're able to write a letter, a strong recommendation letter that details my desire to attend graduate school. And I asked them to have it completed by November. That gives them 2 solid months to work on the letter. Something that's very important is to create a recommenders packet for them. So what I did was I created a Google Doc of everything that I wanted them to include. I find that this is extremely helpful to them because it's centralized and they know what you want them to include. Some things you can include in your packet are all the programs you're applying to, their deadlines, some of your strengths, some of your experience in high school and college, any clubs, organizations, positions you held, your character qualities, so whether you have leadership qualities, any ability, essentially, or you can even drop in your whole resume in that entire doc, and then they'll know everything about you. It'll make the writing process so much easier that way. You'll also want to start writing your statement of purpose, and you want to start this in September, around the same time you're asking for letters of recommendation. Now, the statement of purpose is not a final thing until it's done. You'll want to really tweak it and make necessary edits until it's near perfection. And you'll want to submit this in November as well. Personally, what I found the most helpful was to visit the Writing Center on my campus, and so I got professional help for free on my statement of purpose. I wrote it all myself, but they gave me suggestions based off of their experience in writing for graduate school. And so I highly, 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 highly recommend having multiple people that you trust look over your letter. But you want to make sure these people know what they're talking about. It goes without saying. Then you'll want to enter your data on the Sophist continuously. And then you'll also want to create an official schools list with the name of the program you're applying to. And you want to outline this not based off of whether or not you think you'll get in, but whether or not you're actually applying to the schools that you are listing. And so we just want to assume that we will get accepted into every graduate school that we are applying to. Just say that to yourself. I will get accepted to every graduate school that I'm applying to. Speak it into existence. So I outlined my best matches, my maybes, my probably nots, and my considered but no's category. This is helpful so that if people ask you, oh, hey, I heard Berkeley had a great MPH program, for example, you can reply to them, yes, I considered that school, but, and then you'll give your reasoning why it's off of your list. For each school, you also want to list the priority deadline and the regular deadline, as well as the GRE code. This is so important because I made this mistake. When you're going on test day to take your GRE, it is imperative that you know what schools you are applying to, because you get 4 free score submissions to 4 schools, and that's it. And if you want to go back and send the scores to another school, that'll be another fee. And so you don't want to waste any money. It is important to know what schools you're going to apply to. I would say for fall admission, aim at getting everything completed by December, because decisions will come out that next spring in either February or March. All right, now once your application is finally submitted, you thought the work stopped at the application. No, even once you submit, the work does not end, my friend. We're hustling, we're grinding. Okay, we hustling, we grinding, we hustling, we grinding, we hustling until we get our goal. So, once your application is submitted, you'll want to create a list of potential jobs or titles you aspire to have. This is important not only for yourself to reflect on, okay, what do I actually want to do once this degree's up, but also for other people that will constantly be asking you, what do you want to do, right? And so I want to go into healthcare consulting and be a healthcare consultant, or work globally or internationally at either a nonprofit or a governmental health organization, like the CDC or the WHO. So create a list of everything, either on the notes app on your phone or even on your laptop, just so you can have an idea, a ballpark range of what you're interested in becoming. It's also important to continue networking with current students and faculty, as well as making connections early and visiting the admitted student days if you can, if it's possible. Since we're in quarantine right now in California, I was not able to visit the open houses. We had virtual open houses, so I wasn't able to visit the campuses in person. But if you have that luxury and that privilege, 100% go for it. Next and finally, you'll want to start looking for housing. And this is a whole nother process, but I recommend joining the Facebook groups for the apartments and housing sublets for your school. A lot of students post their open rooms or available apartments, and people also search for roommates on Facebook. Typically in the admitted students group section, if your school has one, I highly recommend checking that out as well. Finally, my last tip for graduate admission is, if your school does not give you enough money and scholarship, it is completely okay to ask for more and to ask for a revision. The way that I recommend doing this is by asking the school to match what another school offered you. And so you want to detail this in an email. And so I asked this of NYU. I told NYU in an email, although this is my number one match and my number one program, the financial aspect is still a burden for me. I was wondering if you're able to match another school's offer, or if you don't want to say match, you can even say, I was wondering if you're able to offer additional funds. Another program offered me so-and-so. You can actually state the amount and send that off. They will do it. If they really, really want you and they really want more students, it doesn't hurt. There's no harm in asking. I mean, either way, you're going to be left with whatever they gave you. If that's not enough, then go ahead and try to take that chance and get more money. That's it. That's pretty much all the tips I have as to how I got into every college I applied to. I hope this video was helpful in some capacity. If you'd like me to make a video on my Gates Millennium Scholarship story and how that process of applying went for me, please let me know. I'd love to do that. Best of luck, everyone. Thanks for watching.